A thousand miles of journey start with a single step. I would also like to start my topic with beautiful greeting for the day. I am Ved Prakash Tiwari, Assistant Professor, School of Pharmacy, Bhubaneswar Siddhas University, Lucknow. I am here to represent my views about very fascinating topic that is the solubility of drug. I will start with importance of the study of the phenomena of solubility. First of all, I will tell you understanding the phenomena of solubility. First one is the select the best solvent for a drug or mixture of a drug. Second one is overcome the problem arising during preparation of pharmaceutical solution. Third one is have information about the structure and intermolecular forces of the drug. Fourth one is many drugs are formulated as solution or added as powder or solution formed to liquids. And fifth one is drug with low aqueous solubility often present problem related to their formulation and bioavailability. Okay, here are some definitions like solution, solute, solvent, a saturated solution, and unsaturated solution. I will start with solution. Solution is a mixture of two or more components that form a homogeneous mixture. The components are referred to the solute or solutes and solvents or solvent. Next one is solute. Solute is dissolved and in this way we can say that it is a less abundant part of the solution. Next one is solvent. Solvent is the component in which the solute is dissolved. In this way we can say that it is a more abundant part of the solution. Next one is a saturated solution. Saturated solution is one in which the equilibrium is established between dissolved and undissolved solute at a definite temperature, or a solution that contains the maximum amount of solute at a definite temperature. Next one is unsaturated solution or subsaturated solution is one containing the dissolved solute in a concentration below the necessary for the complete saturation at a definite temperature. If I will talk about the supersaturated solution, then we can say that supersaturated solution contains more of the dissolved solute than it would normally contain in a saturated state at a definite temperature. Now I will talk about the solubility. Solubility is defined in two ways, quantitative way and qualitative way. If I will define the solubility in quantitative way, then we can say that it is the concentration of solute in a saturated solution at a certain temperature. And if we'll define the solubility in qualitative way, then we can say that it is the spontaneous interaction of two or more substances like solute and solvent to form a homogeneous molecular dispersion. Degree of saturation. If we will talk about the degree of saturation, then we define the degree of saturation in three forms. First one is the unsaturated, saturated, or supersaturated. First solution is the example of unsaturated solution. Second one is the example of saturated solution. And third one is the example of supersaturated solution. If I will ask a question, how much solute can be dissolved in a solution, then we can say that when solution will be unsaturated, the solute will be dissolved in solution. When solution will be supersaturated, then solution can't dissolve in particular solution. Solubility is expressed via solubility curve. Any solution can be made saturated, unsaturated, or supersaturated by changing the temperature. When we increase the temperature, then we can say that unsaturated solution get converted into the saturated solution. If I will talk about the thermodynamic solubility of drugs, then we can say that the thermodynamic solubility of a drug in a solvent is maximum amount of the most stable crystalline form that remains in a solution in a given volume of the solvent at a given temperature and pressure under equilibrium conditions. The equilibrium involves a balance of energy of three interactions against each other. Here the three interaction takes place. First one is solvent with solvent interaction. Second one is solute with solute interaction, and third one is solvent and solute interaction. Now, steps of the solid going into the solution. There are the three steps of solid going into the solution. First one is the hole open in the solvent. Second one is the one molecule of solid break away from the bulk, and third one is the solid molecule enter into the hole in the solvent. If we will talk about the process of solubilization, then we can say that first example is the hole open in the solvent. Second one is the molecules of the solid break away from the bulk, and third one is the freed solid molecule integrated into the hole in the solvents. If I will talk about the solubility process, mainly solubility process is completed in 5 steps. Solubilization process for organic solute in water involves the following step. First one is the break up the solute intermolecular bonds. Second one is the break up the solvent intermolecular bonds. Third one is the formation of cavity in solvent phase large enough to accommodate solute molecules. Fourth one is the transfer of solute into the cavity for solvent phase, and last one is the formation of solute solvent intermolecular bonds. Here the three types of interaction in the solution process. First one is solvent-solvent interaction. Second one is solute-solute interaction. And third one is solvent-solute interaction. When liquid solvent interact with solute crystals, then it forms a solution. In an equation form, we can represent it delta H solution is equal to delta H1 plus delta H2 plus delta H3. When I will talk about the enthalpy, enthalpy means something related to the heat. The enthalpy changes of solution refer to the overall amount of heat which is released or absorbed during the dissolving process at a constant pressure. The enthalpy of solution can either be positive or negative. If I will talk about the positive, then we can say that it is an endothermic reaction, and negative is exothermic reaction. The enthalpy of solution is commonly referred to as the delta H solution. Here are some definitions with symbol. If I will talk about the molarity, molarity is denoted by M. It is defined as moles of solute in 1 liter of solution. If I will talk about the molality, molality is denoted by small m. It is defined as moles of solute in 1000 gram of solvent. If I will talk about the normality, normality is denoted by capital N. It is defined as gram equivalent weights of solute in 1 liter of solution. If I will talk about the mole fraction is denoted by small x. It is defined as ration of moles of solute to total moles of solute plus solvent. If I will talk about the percentage by weight, it is denoted by percentage W by W. It is defined as gram of solute in 100 gram of solution. If I will talk about this percentage by volume, then it is denoted by percentage V by V. It is defined as ml of solute in 100 ml of solution. If I will talk about the percentage weight in volume, then it is denoted by percentage W by W, and it is defined as gram of solute in 100 ml of solution. If I will talk about the solubility expressions. According to the USP, the USP listed the solubility of drug as the number of ml of solvent in which the 1 gram of solute will dissolve. For example, 1 gram of boric acid dissolved in 18 ml of water and 4 ml of glycerin. Substances whose solubility value are not known as described by the following terms. Parts of the solvent required for 1 part of solute. If we'll talk about the very soluble, then we can say that less than 1 part. If I will talk about the freely soluble, then we can say that 1 to 10 parts. When I will talk about the soluble, then we can say that 10 to 30 parts. If I will talk about the springly soluble, then we can say that 30 to 100 parts. If I will talk about the slightly soluble, then we can say that 100 to 1000 parts. If I will talk about the very slightly soluble, then we can say that 1000 to 10,000 parts. If I will talk about the partially soluble, then we can say that more than 10,000 parts. If I will talk about the biopharmaceutical classification system, in short, we can say that BCS classification system. BCS classification system is a scientific framework of classifying the drug substances according to their aqueous solubility and their intestinal permeability. Here, the four class of biopharmaceutical classification system. First one is high solubility, high permeability, and second class is low solubility, high permeability, and third class is high solubility, low permeability, and fourth class is low solubility and low permeability. If I will talk about the solubility expression of high solubility, then we can say that the highest single unit dosage form is completely soluble in 250 ml or less of aqueous solution at pH 126.8 at 37 degrees Celsius. For example, Xanax. It is given in case of anxiety disorder. If I will talk about the solvent solute interactions, then we can say that in pre or early formulation, selection of the most suitable solvent is based on the principle of like, dissolve, like. Then we can say that that is a solute dissolved based in a solvent with similar chemical properties or two substances with similar intermolecular forces are likely to be soluble in each other. Polar solutes dissolve in polar solvent. For example, salt and sugar dissolve in water. Non-polar solute dissolve in non-polar solvent. For example, naphthalene dissolves in benzene. If I will talk about the polar solute, polar solvent, then we can say that ammonia dissolves in water. Now, polar ammonia molecules dissolve in polar water molecules. These molecules mix rapidly because both types of molecules engage in hydrogen bonding. Since the intermolecular interaction are roughly equal, the molecules can break away from each other and form new solute, that is NH3, solvent, that is H2O, hydrogen bonds. For example, alcohol dissolve in water. Then we can say that the OH group of alcohol is polar and mixes with the polar water through the formation of hydrogen bonds. And a wide variety of solutions are in this category, such as sugar in water, alcohol in water, acetic and hydrochloric acids. Now I will talk about the solute-solvent interaction. If the solvent is denoted by A, the solute is denoted by B, and the force of attraction are represented by A dash A, B dash B, and AB. Here, one of the following condition will occur. First one is the solvent molecules will attracted to each other and the solute will be excluded. For example, benzene and water where benzene molecules are unable to penetrate the closely bound water aggregates. Second one is the solvent will not be able to break the binding forces between solute molecules. For example, NaCl in benzenes, where the NaCl crystal is held by the strong electrocovalent forces which cannot be broken by the benzene. And third one is the solute will be form a solution, for example NaCl in water. Here the classification of solvents and their mechanism of action. Classification of solvent: first one is the polar solvent, second one is the non-polar solvent, third one is the semi-polar solvents. If I will talk about the polar solvents, then we can say that the solubility of a drug is due to in large measure to the polarity of the solvent, that is, to its dipole moments. Polar solvents dissolve in ionic solutes and other polar substances, and the ability of solute to form hydrogen bonds is a far more significant factor than its polarity as reflected in a high dipole moments. With the help of these examples, we can understand this. Water dissolve phenols, alcohol and other oxygens and nitrogen containing compounds that can form hydrogen bonds with water. Now I will talk about the polar solvents. Polar solvent, the solubility of a substances also depend on the structural features such as the ratio of the polar of the non-polar groups for the molecules, and as the length of a non-polar chain of an aliphatic alcohol increases, the solubility of the compound in water decreases. Now we can say that strength chain monohydroxy alcohols, aldehydes, ketone and acids with the more than 4 or 5 carbons cannot be enter into the hydrogen bonded structure of the water and hence are only slightly soluble. For example, aldehyde and ketone. If I will talk about the polar solvent, then we can say that when additional polar groups are presented in the molecule as found in propylene glycol, glycerine and tartaric acid, water solubility increase greatly. Branching of the carbon chain reducing the non-polar effect and leads to the increased water solubility. Tertiary butyl alcohol is miscible in all proportions with water, whereas N-butyl alcohol dissolves to the extent of about 10 gram per 100 ml of water at 20 degrees Celsius. I am giving an example over here. Hydrogen bonding is the attractive interaction of hydrogen atom with an electronegative atom such as nitrogen oxygen. With the help of this structure, I will must tell you dipole-dipole forces are electrostatic interactions of permanent dipoles in molecules. Now I will talk about the non-polar solvents. If I will talk about the non-polar solvent, then we can say that non-polar solvents are unable to reduce the attraction between the ions of strong and weak electrolytes because of solvents' low dielectric constant, and they are unable to form hydrogen bonds with non-electrolytes. Now we can say non-polar solvents can dissolve non-polar solutes through weak van der Waals forces. For example, solutions of oil and fats in carbon tetrachloride or benzene. When we talk about the semipolar solvent, then we can say that semipolar solvent such as ketones can induce a certain degree of polarity in non-polar solvent molecules. For example, benzene, which is readily polarizable, becomes soluble in alcohol. Then we can say that they can act as intermediate solvents to bring about miscibility of polar and non-polar liquids. For example, acetone increases solubility of ether in water. If we will talk about the propylene glycol has been shown in increase the mutual solubility of water and peppermint oil and of water and benzyl benzoate. Now I will talk about the polarity as dielectric constant of solvent, that is decreases, the solubility also decreases. With the help of these example, we can say that decreasing in the polarity as well as decreasing water solubility. For example, solvent water solute inorganic salts, organic salts, we can say that dielectric constant of solvent is 80. When we talk about the second example, solvent glycols and solute sugars and tannins, then we can say that dielectric constant of solvent are decreasing. It will be monitored as 50. When I will talk about the methyl and ethyl alcohols and solute castor oil and waxes, then we can see over here dielectric constant of solute is 30. With the help of this graph, this is plotted between solubility and solvent polarity. Influences of solvent polarity on the solubility of drug. First one is the polar drug, second one is the semi-polar drugs, and third one is the non-polar drugs. When we talk about the polarity, then we can say that the solubility of drug substances is attributable in large part of the polarity of the solvent, often expressed in terms of dipole moments related to the dielectric constant. Then we can say that solvent with high dielectric constant dissolve ionic compounds like polar drugs rapidly because of ion dipole interaction. When we talk about the solvents with low dielectric constant dissolve hydrophobic substances like non-polar drugs. When we talk about the polar solvent with examples such as water and glycerine, non-polar solvent with examples such as oils, and solvent with intermediate dielectric constant are classified as semi-polar. Here the three types of solution are pharmaceutical importance included also. When we talk about the type of solution, then we can say that first one is the gases in liquid, second one is liquid in liquid, and third one is the solids in liquids. I will start with solubility of gases in liquid. Then we can say that when the pressure of above the solution is released, the solubility of gases is decreased. As the temperature is increased, the solubility of gases is decreased. In other term, we can say that the pressure of solution will decrease, the solubility of gases automatically decreases. Now I will talk about the solubility of liquid in liquid. Then we can say that preparation of the pharmaceutical solution involves mixing of two or more liquids. For example, alcohol and water to form hydroalcoholic solutions, volatile oils and water to form aromatic waters. Third one is volatile oils and alcohols to form spirits and elixirs. Liquid and liquid system may be divided into two categories. First one is systems showing the complete miscibility such as alcohol and water, glycerine and alcohol, benzene and carbon tetrachloride. And second one is systems showing the partially miscibility as phenol and water two liquids layer are formed, each containing some of the other liquid in dissolved state. In other term, we can say that the term miscibility refer to the manual solubility of the components in liquid-liquid systems. Now I will talk about the solubility of liquid in liquids. Then we can say that completely miscibility occurs when the adhesive force between different molecules, cohesive force between like molecules A dash A or B dash B. A dash A and B dash B I have told you in previous slides. Now I will talk about the polar and semi-polar solvents such as water and alcohols, glycerine and alcohols, and alcohol and acetone are said to be completely miscible because they mix in the all proportions. Now I will talk about the non-polar solvents such as benzene and carbon tetrachloride are also completely miscible. If I will talk about the partially miscibility, then we can say that result when cohesive force of constituents of a mixture are quite different. For example, water and hexane. When certain amount of water and ether or water and phenol are mixed, two liquids layer formed, each containing some of the other liquid in the dissolved state, and the effect of temperature on the miscibility of two components liquid is expressed by phase diagrams. In the phase diagrams of two components liquid, the mixture will have an upper critical solution temperature, a lower critical solution temperature, or both. With the help of this graph, we can understand the three component system: methyl salicylate and isopropanol and water. With the help of this system, we can understand the phenomena of miscibility and immiscibility. Now, I will start with the solubility of solids in liquids. When we talk about the factor influencing solubility, first one is the particle size. Particle size is the most biggest factor of solubility. For your kind information, I will must tell you particle size when decreases, the surface area will be increases, automatically solubility will also increases. I am giving an example over here. First one is before particle size reduction, you can see small surface area and solubility of drug particle are decreasing. Second one is after particle size reduction, we can see over here increase in the surface area and solubility of the drug particle are increasing. If I will talk about the factor influencing solubility in a equation form, then we can say that log S upon S naught is equal to 2 gamma V upon 2.303 capital R capital T small r, where S naught is the solubility of large particle, S is the solubility of the fine particles, where gamma is the surface tension, capital V is more volume, capital T is the absolute temperature, small r is the radius of the fine particle, and capital R is the gas constant. I am giving an example over here. A solid to be comminuted so as to increase its solubility by 10%. That is S by S naught is to become 1.10. Then I will ask a question, what be the mass final particle size assuming that the surface tension of the solid is 100 dynes per centimeter and the volume per miles is 50 centimeter cube. The temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. The answer will be 0.042 micrometer. Now I will talk about the factor influencing solubility. Next factor is the molecular size. Molecular size will affect the solubility The larger molecular size or the higher its molecular weight, the less soluble the substances. Larger molecules are more difficult to surround with solvent molecules in order to solvate the substances. In this way, we can say that in case the organic compounds, the amount of the carbon branching will increasing the solubility, since more branching will reduce the size or volume of the molecule and make it easier to solvate the molecules with solvents. When we talk about the next factor influencing solubility, that is boiling point of liquid and the melting point of the solid. Both reflect the strength of interactions between the molecules in the pure liquid or solid state. In general way, we can say that aqueous solubility decreases with increasing boiling point and melting point. For example, boiling point of N-pentanol is 137 degrees Celsius and solubility of this 0.26, and the boiling point of 3-methyl 1-butanol is 131 degrees Celsius and solubility of this 0.31, and the solubility of the 2-pentanol is 0.53 and the melting point is 119. When we talk about the 3-pentanol, then we can say that the boiling point of 3-pentanol is 115 degrees Celsius and solubility is 0.62. These are the examples of boiling points with liquid and melting points of the solid. Next factor influencing of solubility is the influences of substituent on the solubility of molecules in water can be due to their effect on the properties of solid or liquids. For the example, on the molecule cohesion or to the effect of the substituent on the interaction with water molecules. Substituent can be classified as either hydrophobic or hydrophilic depending on their polarity. I will must tell you, hydrophilic means lipid soluble, hydrophobic means water soluble. Next factor influencing is polar groups such as OH capable of hydrogen bonding with water molecules impact high solubility. Non-polar groups such as CS3 and Cl are hydrophobic and impact low solubility. When we talk about the ionization of the substituent increases solubility. For example, COOH and NH2 group are slightly hydrophilic, whereas COO bond and NH3 are very hydrophilic. For example, CS3 is hydrophobic, CS2 is hydrophobic, Cl, Br and F is hydrophobic. When we talk about the COOH, slightly hydrophobic, COOH very hydrophobic, and NH2 is hydrophilic, NH3 is very hydrophilic, and OH is very hydrophilic. These are the examples of substituent on the solubility. Next, when we talk about the positions of the substituent or the molecular can be influence the effect of the solubility. Positions like ortho, meta, para. When we talk about the positions, then we can say that for the example of aqueous solubility of dihydrobenzenes, then we can say that on ortho position solubility will 4, on meta position solubility will 9, and on para position solubility will 0.6. Now I will talk about the next factor, that is temperature. Temperature play a great role in the solubility factor. When we increase the temperature, automatically solubility will increase. I have told this in previous slide. When we talk about the temperature will affect the solubility. The solution process absorb energy, then the solubility will increase as the temperature is increased. If the solution process is released energy, then the solubility will decreases with the increasing temperature. In general way, we can say that, and increasing the temperature of solution increases the solubility of an liquid solute. For few solids, solutes are less soluble in warm solution. For all gases, solubility decreases at the temperature of the solution or increases. Next factor is crystal properties. When we talk about the crystal property also play the great role in the solubility. Polymorphism have the same chemical structure but the different physical property, such as the solubility, density, hardness, and compression characteristics of a drug that exists in amorphous form, that is non-crystalline form, generally dissolves more rapidly than the same drug is crystalline form. So the crystal property play a great role in the factor influencing of solubility. Next factor influencing solubility is pH. pH is also very important factor of solubility. When we talk about the pH, is one of the primary influences on the solubility of most drug that contains ionizable groups. Large number of drugs are weak acid or weak bases. Solubility depend on the degree of ionization. Degree of ionization depend on the pH. If I will give an example, about 85% of marketed drugs that contain functional group that are ionized to some extent of physiological pH between 1.5 to 8. When we talk about the carboxylic acid containing more than 5 carbons are relatively insoluble in water. They react with dilute sodium dihydroxide, carbonates and bicarbonates to form soluble salt. As a number of carbon in a carboxylic acid series becomes greater, in boiling point increases and the solubility in water is decreases. For example, common is for formic acid, then we can say that boiling point is 101 degree Celsius and melting point is 8 degree Celsius and solubility is infinite. When we talk about the insoluble, then we take an example over here, capric acid, that is boiling point is 270 and melting point is 32 degrees Celsius and solubility is insoluble. Now I will discuss about the ionization and pH. When we talk about the ionization and pH, then we can say that strong versus weak acid and bases. First one is strong ionized at all pH. Second one is weak only ionized at certain pH. Most of the drug weak acid or weak bases. Third one is ionized drugs are not very lipid soluble. Only non-ionized form of drug crosses the membrane rapidly. Fourth one is percentage ionization is pH dependent, and fifth one is pK is the negative log of the ionization constant and is equal to the pH at which drug is 50% ionized. Sixth one is weak acid become highly ionized as pH increases, and seven one is weak bases become highly ionized as pH decreases. Computing the ionization ratios according to the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, the difference between the pH of the solution and the pK of the drug is the common logarithm of the ratio of ionized to unionized form of drug. When we talk about the acidic drug, log ionized by ionized, that is pH minus pKa, or a ratio of the ionized to unionized is 10x by 1, where is x is equal to pH minus pKa. When we talk about the basic drugs, then we find that everything is the same except that the ratio reserves log ionized by ionized is equal to pH minus pKa, or ratio of the unionized to ionized is 10x by 1, where is x is equal to pH minus pKa. When we talk about the co-solvent effect on the solubility, then we find that the non-electrolytes and undissociate molecules of the weak electrolytes more soluble in the mixture of the solvent in one solvent alone. This phenomena is known as co-solvency, and the solvent that combination increase the solubility is known as the co-solvents. The presence of the co-solvent can decrease the solubility of the hydrophobic organic chemicals. Co-solvent can be completely change the solvation properties of the water. When we talk about the partition coefficient mainly used for the finding the drug nature. Our drug is lipophilic nature or hydrophobic nature. When we talk about the partition coefficient, it is mainly denoted by P, usually expressed as log 10 P or log P, is defined as P is equal to X octanol by X aqueous. P is the measurement of relative affinity of a molecule for a lipid or aqueous phases in the absence of the ionization. First one is octanol is the most frequently used lipid phase in the pharmaceutical research. This is because of it has a polar and non-polar region, and it is fairly easy to measure, and it is correlates the correlates with the many biological properties. Here the applications of the partition coefficient. First one is extraction, second one is preservative action of the weak acid in oil in water systems, third one is the drug absorption or distribution or action. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that you took the time to be here and listen to my presentation. Thank you so much.